Hello, guys. This is going to be a special opportunity. You guys can see who is here with us right now. He's a legend. He is literally a living legend. And I pinch myself because I consider Erik a friend, even outside of the network marketing conversations. I really, really do.
Cool.
Erik, it's awesome to have you here with us.
It's good to be here. Good to see everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
If they can, I think we can see chat here. If they could, the people on your team, if they throw in where they're listening from, whether it's live or replay, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, we're gonna put this thing in groups all over.
Great. Okay.
So we're gonna get chats and feedback for days on this. You guys, if you don't know who Erik Worre is, he is the top trainer in the world in network marketing. He has been on all phases of the business, but I don't need to go into too much of a detail because you guys know who Erik is. And a few weeks back, we had a conversation. When the phone rang on a Sunday, I looked at the phone, I showed my wife, and I'm like, this is going to be interesting because when Erik calls on a Sunday, it's great conversation. It's either about the Vikings or something. It's either about the Vikings or something really cool. But
Right.
we talked a little bit about business and a very, very huge event that's coming up. And we wanted to talk about how your plans over the summer and these next couple of weeks in this event can really impact your business. So, Erik, let's talk about recruiting for a second.
Sure.
Why do you feel it's such a fundamentally important skill to have?
Well, look, if you're involved in network marketing, the entire world right now, it feels, I'm not going to say it's a conspiracy, but it feels like a conspiracy to get you away from leverage. Feels like the world wants you to trade your time for money and to be dependent on other things and to not really have time freedom, financial freedom, choices, options. Even the entrepreneurial things that are being promoted right now are side gigs, side hustles. You can go drive your car as an Uber. You could be a web designer from home. You could be a personal trainer. You're still just trading time for money. You have no leverage. You have no scale. You don't really have a business. Yes, you're in business for yourself, but really you just have a job for yourself. You're a boss of one employee that's doing a job. You don't have any scale. So when I first got involved in network marketing, I don't know if that's actually, the world leaders want that, but it's certainly what's being promoted right now. Anything with leverage is not necessarily being promoted. It's like real entrepreneurship feels like it's under attack sometimes. Solopreneur, side gig stuff, that's common. Go, make some, knit some scarves and put them on Etsy. Okay, fine. I'm gonna go do that. Can you have a job working for yourself? Yeah, sure. We have this. This gives us the ability to have reach that we didn't normally have. So you can do that. You could be an influencer and you can, promote an energy drink or something. Fine. But when you lose your influence or you forget to post, it's like I saw something last night. Neymar, the soccer player, he signed with the Saudi League and he gets $500,000 every time he sends a tweet or a message on social media that promotes Saudi Arabia. $500,000 every time. As an example of somebody who has reach that you don't have, right? So, global figure, all that stuff, we tend to glamorize that stuff. But in our business, the thing that you ever watch The Wolf of Wall Street, the movie?
Yeah.
Remember we say, sell me this pen. If Jordan Belfort said, here, Erik, sell me this pen, I would say, here, you can have it. the last thing in the world I want to do is sell you a pen and have you give me $5. I'm super uncomfortable in that. I'm okay if I'm super passionate about a product, and you have amazing products. I'm okay sharing something that I like, but I'm still kind of uncomfortable. And there's this, my mentor, I realized real quick, I couldn't get rich selling my product. I could have a job selling my product. I could make a few bucks selling my product. Like, you guys have made some compensation plan changes, so people who are selling the product can make some money. Congratulations. I'm glad you're making money. I want you to make money. Can you get rich? Are you Neymar? Are you a Kardashian? Are you Logan Paul? Are you Joe Rogan? Do you have the influence in order to be able to post something and be able to print money? Probably not. So now what do? We have to build our influence.
Yeah, you got to scale.
We have to get scale. We have to get leverage. We have to build our influence. So there's this big lie that's being told around the world that I'll share with you. And it's crazy. You ever see a billionaire get interviewed, or, a very successful, iconic entrepreneur? And you know what they say all the time when they say, what advice do you have for young entrepreneurs? You know what the advice is? Only do what you love.
Have fun.
It's the biggest pile of nonsense lie ever uttered. And they all say it. It's like they've all been given the same script. Only do what you love. If you've been an entrepreneur, be honest. Be honest. Did you only do what you loved to build your business? Of course not. If you're an athlete and you want to be an elite athlete, did you only do what you loved? No shot. Anything that you ever did, you like going out on the boat and fishing. But does every part of that what you love? Do you like washing the boat? Do you like cleaning out fish guts out of the bottom of the boat? Do you love that? No, but your passion's enough that you'll go through the stuff that sucks.
I told your story last night that you told us we were on a trip. You and Marina showed up in Mexico. You showed up in our room and you told us the story about the gentleman that was in prison and got to finally take a shower. I know you remember that story.
Yeah, sure. The gulag.
And I told him the brief story, like, guys, recruiting is that shower. Like, when you finally make it and you got the money coming, the last thing you want to do is go back and start recruiting again. The last thing you want to do is put that
or even start. Most people don't start, So the idea of recruiting, to me, as an introverted person, when I didn't have the skills, I had this impression when I first started network marketing that the people I knew would at least want to take a look.
Right.
I found out that wasn't true. They would run away.
They're adamant that they don't want to take a look.
Yeah. I'm like, you don't even know what I have. And they're like, no, you don't understand. I'm not interested. How can you not be interested? You have no idea. But so I'm getting what I felt like personal rejection, personal ghosting, all of this stuff. And it was not fun.
Yeah.
But I realized I had a gift back then, and the gift was the gift of desperation. I didn't have a lot of options. Some people out there have lots of options. They can go succeed doing a lot of different things, and if I had other things that I could do to go make money, I'd have probably done them, but I didn't. So I'm like, last thing in the world I want to do is go try and recruit somebody on my team. But I realized I was in this catch-22. If I didn't build a team, I couldn't get leverage. If I didn't get leverage, I couldn't get freedom. If I didn't get freedom, there's other stuff I can do that's not as emotionally devastating. At least that was in my mind, right?
Yeah.
So some of the stuff that you're going to do in building a business, including in network marketing, is going to suck. And what I would encourage you to do is embrace the suck. Just say, you know what? I'm going to do this because I love this, like our conversation, our, hanging out. I love working with people I love, shared values and encouragement and seeing the world together and building each other up. I love all that. But the idea of somebody who's blind and I got to try and make them see, and they fight me while I'm doing it. It's like somebody's drowning and I'm trying to save them. They're trying to, bring me down with them. That's kind of what it felt like. You can tell I have this all emotional trauma, right? When I was first trying to build my business.
No, what's incredible is that you're talking first person, which means you've experienced it, which is important. Like, it's important. If someone's teaching out of theory, you need to go the other direction. When they're teaching out of first person, it's obvious. And so the answer to why recruiting is important, Erik's answer, guys, it's scale.
Leverage. Yeah. Scale, leverage. Yep. If you're going to be in network marketing anyway, why just have a job? You need to have a business that you can build that eventually doesn't depend on you very much.
Yeah.
So, and some of you might just love your product. Say, no, I just want to focus on the product because I love my product. And I feel like everybody in the world needs to know about the product. You can't reach the world. You can only reach a small, tiny little group of the world. If you need to, you really want to reach the world, you need help. So I'm stuck, right? When I'm 23 and I'm first starting with this, I'm like, I have no credibility. I'm young. I don't have any results. I have no skills. I hardly know any people. How am I going to recruit anybody worth anything with that combination? Because that combination's terrible. And I learned through trial and error. And I'll give you just the basic arc, okay? Because if you agree that recruiting is important, there's kind of 3 phases of a network marketer's career. Phase 1 is from 0 to 10 business builders, not like people who are not a business builder, but they have an intention of growing a business. 0 to 10. That's phase 1. Okay. You need to get that done. If you haven't got that done, you need to get that done. Phase 2 is from 10 recruits to 100,000 a year. That becomes about skills, leadership, a little bit about systems. Duplication starts to show up. And then 100,000 to $1 million and beyond becomes about leadership development, promotion, a lot more about systems, culture, vision, those types of things, right? But at the beginning, you just got to get some people to help you. And I'd ask the question to your audience, what would happen to your business if you added 10 business builders to your team in the next 30 or 60 days? To your confidence, to your results, would you rank advance, to your check, to everything else? You guys already have unbelievable products, that change people's lives. If you add more people to it, it gets a lot more fun. I will tell you, some of you need to recruit just so you have some fun people to hang out with, because it's boring to do it by yourself. So I learned how to do it. Let me give you just the basic arc for somebody who has no skills, no talent, whatever, lives in a small town, all the limiting beliefs that you have. You have to find people to talk to. Number 1, you need to start a conversation with them. It doesn't need to be a business conversation. Just start conversation. All business is conversation. And then this is one small skill that you need to learn. How do you pivot that conversation from a regular conversation to a business conversation in a way that doesn't scare them away? Then how do you invite them to take a look at what you have, learn what you have? Then how do you present it to them that makes it not about you? Because if it's about you, the only people who are going to sign up with you are people who look up to you. Pretty soon you're going to be recruiting down, and then nobody can afford the product even. Then you need to stay in conversation with them until they fully understand, get their questions answered, whatever. And then elegantly help them make a decision. Is this business good for them or not? Is it right for them or not? So that's kind of the arc, right? Mm-hmm. And I learned how to do that. That was the first step. And I would love to tell you that was, once I learned that, everything was great, but that's not the truth. I learned how to do that, and people would talk like people. I would look at people like you, Brandon, and how many people do you have on your team approximately?
Like business builders, right?
Yeah, or customers, team, whatever.
100. We're at about 150,000.
150,000. I would look at people like Brandon, and who has 150,000. Like, Are you crazy? How is it even possible for a person to have 150,000 people? I didn't have duplication. I didn't have exponential growth. I had addition and subtraction. I'd add somebody, I'd lose somebody. I'd add somebody, I'd lose somebody. I'd add somebody, I'd lose somebody. And I rebuilt my team 7 times in my first 3 years. And I thought there was something wrong with me because I recruited my team, but they didn't. It never dawned on me, wait a minute, I should take the skills that I learned and teach it to them so they can go do it too. Oh, that's how thick-headed I was. But once I figured that out, then duplication started to show up. 3 years later, I'm $1 million a year earner by the time I'm 29, coming from nothing. So recruiting's a big deal. It's learnable. All your limiting beliefs are not real. I can help you past all of them if you're hungry. Now, there's 2 different types of people in network marketing. There's earners and there's leaders. If you're an earner in network marketing, you're not a leader. You are not going to be able to withstand all the radical change that's happening in our business world today. You have to become a leader. But phase 1, we need to get you to have a team, recruit a team. Phase 2, we need to teach you some skills to be a leader, not just an earner. Phase 3, we need to teach you systems and vision and leadership so you can become a legend inside of our business. But most people that are watching this are probably in level 1. They haven't got to level 2 yet. They either they're starting or they need to restart.
Yeah.
So on August 26th, what you were talking about, I decided to host a global event, broadcast around the world virtually from our big studio here in Las Vegas, a GoPro recruiting challenge training, 3 hours. Give me 3 hours and I can shave 3 years off your learning curve when it comes to recruiting. Okay. Myself and the top recruiters around the world are going to share all of our insights on how you can get through that arc without a lot of talent and skill, follow the bouncing ball, follow instructions, and get results. And if results are interesting to you, if you'd feel better, if all of a sudden you had 10 people on your team excited looking at you say, what's next, boss? That would be pretty cool, right? And if you have limiting beliefs, I've tried this before, I'm no good at this. Just trust me. In those 3 hours, I can help you. And I will tell you, we could charge $1,000 for this. It would be worth every penny because that breakthrough is worth that. Because if you don't get that level 1 done, guess what? You're either going to be just a customer or you're going to be gone. If we don't get level 1 done, we have to get that done. So I could charge a lot of money, but I'm not but I am going to ask you to put some skin in the game. I've learned a couple things. One is if I give stuff away for free, people don't value it. So we decided to charge $7 for this 3-hour training. We're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it, but $7 for a person to attend this event. And that $7 is not going to change my life 1 iota, but it's going to change yours. Okay. $7, 3 hours. Me and the top recruiters around the world, tens of thousands of people from around the world will be attending. Over 100 countries will be attending. And if you attend, I promise you this, I'm going to put you on a path to being able to recruit on demand. And second, if you have anybody on your team, whether they're active or inactive, I want you to think about an inactive person on your team right now. Why did they join your business? Because they thought they could recruit. Mm-hmm. And when it got hard, when it wasn't fun, when it was uncomfortable, they said, you know what? I'll just use the product. Mm-hmm. I can help them get past that from what they thought recruiting to actually get the results. So whether people are active or inactive, invite them, have them attend, have them be part of this. 3 hours. It's live, 9 a.m. Pacific to noon Pacific on the 26th. No replay, because I also learned something. You need to be checked in live to an event like a concert. If I send you this 3-hour replay, you're not going to watch it anyway. I'm not interested in selling you a 3-hour stream for $7. I'm interested in you showing up and changing your life. Contribution's what drives me more than anything else. So Brandon has a link for it for you to be able to get connected. But I'm monologuing here. Let's get back to our conversation.
Yeah. I know. I appreciate that. And in thinking after we talked a few weeks ago about what you were going to do when you laid this out for us, I started getting more excited about this because I believe the timing for this event could not be better.
For sure.
And we were talking just prior to going live here. Share with us your thoughts on why you think we are in a very pivotal, that's the right way to say it, time in network marketing, because it is a unique time right now. Like it's some things are just different right now.
Super different. I will tell you, there's so much in my 35 years. I've never seen the landscape. It's almost like there's been a global earthquake and the ground is shifting under our feet. And I see everything. I see all the companies and so many contributing factors. Some companies that have lazy products, that's being exposed, and they've got to up their game in their clinical studies, and they got to up their game in their quality and pricing. They got, so that's one impact. The other impact is there's regulatory issues that companies need to pivot and be responsible instead of just saying whatever they want to say. And there's ways to do that and do it right. There's technological disruptions that are distracting people constantly as far as what's going on. There's other side hustle things that are being pitched as here's a way to work for yourself when it's really just a job, and they're not getting scale. So we have to be able to tell our story better. There's a lot of things that came out of the pandemic. And I'll just describe for a moment and bear with me. In building for the last 35 years, here's what's worked. You need to develop a leader inside of your team, and you develop a leader by them going through trials, tribulations, going through struggle and facing their fears and getting past stuff and learning new skills and learning how to present and learning how to overcome obstacles and dealing with failure and all this other kind of stuff toughens them up, makes them stronger and stronger entrepreneurs. So the pandemic hits, and all of those people that were developing themselves stopped, and all the top superstars did everything. They did all the Zooms, all the meetings, all the trainings, and the farm team kind of all became like infants, like babies. They weren't even teenagers anymore. They weren't even like in their 20s anymore. They were like 8 years old now, and they were the furthest thing from tough. So now the leaders have been kind of carrying, quote unquote, the entire field, superstar after superstar, on Zoom after Zoom, doing everything, doing all the presentations, doing the events, doing the training, doing the getting people started, all the promotion, everything. And we came out of the pandemic, and now those leaders say, okay, we're back face to face. All right, guys, go. But those people are 8 years old and they're crying. They're easily distracted. And like our farm team got wiped out in those 3 years. But here's the biggest challenge, Brandon, is when leaders are asking their teams now to do what's necessary to succeed, the teams are complaining and saying, it's different, it's hard, it sucks, this is not fun. People told me to only do what I love. I don't love part of this. So, and they're saying it in a large enough group. Nietzsche said, we need strong men in the world because the weak by their sheer mass are forcing weak ideals and weak values on us all. So here's what's happening. Those new distributors are complaining so much that they're convincing their leaders in the field that everything's different, everything's changed, and the company should change their comp plan, they should change their products, they should change this, they should make it easier, they should give a system to be able to do everything. You're asking too much of me. I'm overwhelmed. I'm depleted. I'm exhausted. And they're convincing the leaders, and then the leaders are convincing the companies. And the companies are going, well, I guess we better throw some promotions at this. Guess we better overreact to this and doing all this other kind of stuff, when it's back to fundamental growth strategies of how do we go to prospects and help them understand our products? How do we go to prospects and help them understand our opportunity? It's back to those fundamentals. And the rest of it's literally an illusion. But it's not an illusion if the leaders buy the story of the people who became weak during the pandemic, and if the companies buy the story of the leaders complaining about the weak people in the field. Don't tell me that network marketing is not accepted in your country, because it's nonsense. There's somebody succeeding in your country in network marketing. Don't tell me that it's harder now. People don't want to listen now. People are more cynical now. That's all avoidance behavior. That's all an excuse. None of it's real. It's completely an illusion unless you accept it as real. And there are literally entire companies that are accepting that story as real. They're overreacting. And in the next 3 years, it's going to be a tale of two cities. It's going to be the best of times for some companies that are going to gobble it all up. And it's going to be the worst of times for other companies that buy into the lie.
And I would say not companies, leaders.
Well, both.
Well, yeah, both. The companies will benefit if they have the right leaders, because what I think this boils down to is what you're talking about, because companies don't attend leadership events. Companies don't become better leaders. Leaders become better leaders. Leaders become stronger. And it's, to me, you are, without us even having this conversation,
right?
This is what the deal maker is right now. It's why I think we are in a very critical time to up your game.
Yes.
Because there is power in proximity. And I'm talking about myself. I am immersing myself in proximity right now. If I can get around the right people, that's what I am doing right now. Yep. And that's what needs to happen for so many people, because the reverse is what's really happening. That's what you're talking about. The reverse is people are inundated with the wrong conversations.
Well, the wrong conversations, or let me give you an example of how companies are making mistakes. The rank and file new people are saying, it's too hard, it's too hard, it's too hard. I'm not making enough money, blah, 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 blah. They convince the leaders, and the leaders say, you know what? I think that's true. They're not making enough money. We need to figure out a way. So they go pressure the company, say, look at that company across the street. They're paying out 60%. They're paying out 70%. They're paying out 75%. Now, we need to do more like that. And the company goes, well, we got to compete. So even though our margins are really tight, we'll start changing to that. They don't know that company that's paying out that money is going to be gone in 2 years, because that they don't have enough margin in order to be able to survive long term. So it takes leadership from the company to say no. And if you need to leave, leave. But we're building a company that needs to be here 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. And we're not a company built on cocaine. We're built on vegetables. We need to actually be healthy here. The company's got to win. The field's got to win. The customer's got to win. We got to pay out appropriate margins, for example. So there's a lot of competition right now between who can pay out the most, not who can last the longest. And what's going to give you the best career as a leader? Who can pay out the longest? Who has the best experience for the customer, so the customer stays forever or longer than most people? And then let's figure out how we pay people on scale there, so you can depend on your income. What you have, Brandon, inside of your company, for example, is such predictable income because of the stickiness of the product, the what I would say a responsible product, a lot of clinical studies around the product. You know what I mean? Priced well, competitive, everything else. But not everybody has that. So either they got to up their game on product, or they have to make sure that they're responsible enough that they can invest in research and development in order to be able to come up with the next product to be able to serve long-term. Competition's not going to get easier in our age of connection. It's going to get tougher. Mm-hmm. But who wins ultimately? Who's protected ultimately? A leader in network marketing. Mm-hmm. Products come and go. Mm-hmm. Right? I promise you guys, 10 years from now, you know, maybe there's one or two products that you have now you're going to be selling, but there's going to be other products that your company is going to come up with in order to pivot and compete in the marketplace. We're not selling iPhone 1s anymore.
Yeah.
You know, we're selling iPhone 14. It's going to be 15 soon. You know, we have to be able to adapt, but companies, we have to be responsible enough, all of us, to become great leaders, to sell what we have, where we are, build skills within our organizations. Start with get them through level 1. That's the start, because we don't get them there, we don't keep them. And once we get them through level 1, then we can start working on skills. Once we work on skills, we can start working on leadership. Leadership ultimately is the measure of everything that happens. So, I mean, I could talk for a long time. You know what I'm calling the GoPro event this year?
The one in December?
Yeah.
What?
The wake-up call. This is the most important GoPro event ever. We're using this recruiting training to lead to that, but it's a wake-up call for everybody. If you're going to do it right. If you're going to do it, let's do it long-term. We got to up our game. We got the best solution for the average person who wants to be an entrepreneur. Nothing better on planet Earth. We have to be better at telling our story.
Yeah. Well, you guys can obviously see from the conversation we're having here what you're in store for with this challenge. It is, to me, maybe the most important event you've ever attended. And it's because timing is so critical right now. And this thing's just a few days out. Do not miss this event. Like, this is a no-brainer from a financial standpoint. It's a no-brainer. Be a part of this. I think it puts you around the right people, having the right conversations. Erik's going to have the best of the best there. Erik has enough reach around the world that he sees what's going on. He doesn't work like a lot of people in our own companies. We're kind of just working with blinders on. You can only see what's in your team and your company. But when you can peel it back and see the whole thing, that's where you're really getting an education that's going to help you grow as a leader and ultimately grow your organization. So, Erik, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited also. I'm excited for your whole organization. You guys have done already the hard part. You have an amazing product. You've got a solid company. You've got all kinds of clinical studies and backup for everything. You have crazy customers. Guess what you lack that would change the whole game?
More leadership, more enrollments.
recruit some new people and teach them how to do the same thing. If we unlock that, you own the world. There's no reason that your company should not be $1 billion a year company in the very near future. The only thing holding it from that, the only thing, is more recruiting. And if you have a limiting belief that, I'm no good at it or whatever, let go of that. Let me help you. And also, I would say, if you're on Instagram, come find me on Instagram. Once you register, come find me on Instagram. There's a bunch of imposters, but just look up Erik Worre. It's the one with 530 some followers, 530,000 some followers. Find that one and then DM me and send me a screenshot of you getting registered. All right. Awesome. So, I'll pick some out. We'll say hello. We'll get connected and I'll pick some and share them out with the world.
Well, I appreciate this so much. As you guys can see, you guys are in for something special. So, Erik, thanks for being with us today, speaking to the team. And hey, listen, thanks for doing what you do. You made a decision, I don't know, over a decade ago. You saw a need, and like no trainer in the world, you have filled that need. So thank you and Marina for what you do, because there's some
great pleasure.
Like Rise of the Entrepreneur. I know you talked about redoing that, but that thing, when I saw that, I was kind of just shocked at the timing and the message, and so critically needed. The book, your GoPro book, and then of course all of your training. Like, you're a visionary, my man.
I hope this is a wake-up call for all of you. It's time for us to step into our greatness. You have it inside of you. I'm looking forward to your success. I'm looking forward to you tapping me on the shoulder a few years from now and saying, hey, I was on that call with Brandon. I went to the recruiting challenge. It changed my whole trajectory. And now, I've helped thousands of people, or maybe 100,000 people like you have, Brandon. Yeah. So congrats on your success as well. Best to your family. And everybody, look forward to seeing you on the 26th. Okay. It's going to be amazing.
Thanks, Erik. Perfect.